to be turning our attention to Ghana's territorial waters and issues of security, the risks at sea, and then how quick are our responses when it comes to issues at sea, especially with specific focus on Ghana's naval team. Over the years, there have been questions of how prepared are we, looking at the fact that we have started or we are going into mining oil from the belly of the sea. Now we need to be well prepared and ready for all of that. Are we? We have someone who is an expert when it comes to naval activities. He's actually been in it for quite a number of years and has written a book about all of the things that you need to know when it comes to naval activities. Let me quickly introduce him and then we can go into our discussion. I have been joined in studio by Commander Dr. Kamaldeen Ali. He's the Director of Research at the Ghana Armed Forces Staff College and with extensive knowledge on maritime law and security. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You look sharp. There are lots of people who always talk about the Navy and how they dress. Why is it always white? Why the color?
I think the color is very traditional to the Navy, and we took this color from our colonial masters. And generally around the world, you find navies in white or navy blue.
Navy blue.
And we've learned to keep it clean and neat through training and practice.
All right. It's always fascinating when you see them in all white. Okay. To start with, our focus as a country on our territorial waters seem to have inched up in the last few years because Ghana is also, digging oil, or we are now into oil exploration. There are threats from pirates and people who generally just want to, cause havoc at sea. When it comes to maritime security, how good or ready or prepared are we as a country?
We are prepared largely to some extent because it takes a number of factors to be able to deliver effective security. It takes, for example, surveillance, it takes patrolling at sea, but more importantly, it takes effective legal framework and then national coordination of various institutions to deliver effective security. So we are prepared, but there are challenges, and those challenges must be admitted every time and addressed.
You mentioned law and the legal framework. Do we have laws here in Ghana protecting our waters?
Yeah, we do have, to some extent, some legal framework. First of all, we are a party to the Law of the Sea Convention, and the convention is what regulates what I call the maritime spaces. Okay. And then every maritime response is a function of the convention. So we are a party to the Law of the Sea Convention, and much like any other international instrument, we are expected to translate that into domestic effect. Okay. In some areas we have done that pretty well. In many areas we still have gaps, and we are trying to cover that in those areas.
When you mention framework, legal framework, how do you mean?
Just at the basic level, it is important to understand that although we see the sea as a mass of water, mass of water that is segmented. We have, for example, the territorial sea, we have the exclusive, the contiguous zone, then we have the exclusive economic zone and the high seas. And in each of these zones, Ghana as a country, much like any other country, do have certain rights and certain responsibilities.
Right.
So that is the basic legal framework. But beyond that, you then have other legal framework that are specific to other issues. It may be in the area of fisheries, it may be in the area of oil and gas, it may be in the area of shipping, it will be in the area of seabed mining, and more recently we are talking about renewable energy, and more importantly we are talking about resources that have become so key to the new generation of pharmaceutical companies. And all these resources are found in the sea, and there are different legal framework, some certain, some evolving, that deals with these areas.
Of all these, they sound like quite a number. Which specific ones would you say Ghana plays a key role in? Or our interest should be in all of it, or is in all of it?
No, our interest must be in all of this, because it is important to note that the sea has vast potential. Far more than we can always think of. At times, because we live on land, we tend to think that the land is so important, but the sea is far more important. And the resources at sea is much greater to the resources at land. And to the extent that the sea is available for maximum exploitation, because if you look at the land that we have settled on it, we have activities on it. So Ghana's maritime space that Ghana can exercise interest over is 70% our land size. What it then means is that whole 70% is available as a resource to be exploited, as compared to the land where perhaps as much as 80% of the land is already exploited and 20% exists. But to the extent that it's also at sea, it shows that there is competition over the area. Because in some areas you have interest, but other states also have interest. So you must be able to maximize your interest, assert control over your interest, and then you can then be able to exploit the maximum benefit from it.
And I mean, within the last year or so, we've had issues with Ivory Coast over sea demarcation, and that they were saying we had crossed into their water space and all of that. How is the demarcation done? Maybe to educate some of us, how do you know that from this side to this side of the sea belongs to this country?
That is a very complex process. Complex first in terms of its technicality and law. And no nation has seen it to be simple. That is the fact about it. So almost every nation is grappling with that. The truth is that still as many as 60% of maritime boundaries are not delimited in the world. And it is not because states don't want to do that, but it's because of the complexity. So our issue with Cote d'Ivoire is not unique. You know, it's one that you can find across our immediate sub-region and in many parts of the world. Even those areas that you call very advanced countries, they are still undisputed or undemarcated maritime boundaries. It's a bit technical on how that is supposed to be done. But the law has provided a framework, but within that framework, certain technical bits will have to be done. And states will normally disagree, either on the emphasis that should be given to the interpretation of the legal framework, or even when they agree on the legal framework, on the technical aspect of it. How do you go about demarcating it? What points do you give emphasis to? Because we have what we call baselines, base points, and then we then have the median line. How will that be generated? So that is a very technical issue.
Technical. But in conclusion, on issues of security along the Gulf of Guinea, how worse off are we, or how better are we in the last few years?
I think I would say we are worse off if you take into consideration a combination of factors. Many people tend to focus on piracy, and even on that score alone, we are worse off, because it's not that we do have more piracy incidents than the rest of the world. Between 2004 to 2010, Somalia or the Indian Ocean recorded more piracy than any other place in the world. And today, even as we speak, there are still quite a number of piratical incidents in South China Sea. The problem is that we tend to have very, very serious piracy incidents in our region. Those that manifest direct transnational crime dynamics. And each hijacking in the Gulf of Guinea is of such importance. And already in this year, we have had a couple of them. So this is what makes the Gulf of Guinea unique. Just talking about piracy alone, but we do have other essential maritime security concerns that other regions don't face. For example, extensive illegal exploitation of fisheries may be taking place or do take place from time to time, and you have to monitor that. But we also have drug trafficking and other. And
I believe a number of these and how we can deal with them are captured in a book that we have in front of you.
Yes, those are captured in the book, which is a new book that I have just written. It's Maritime Security in the Gulf of Guinea, Prospects and Challenges. And it looks into the broad spectrum of issues that are required to address maritime security from national, regional, and from the international level.
And when is the launch and all of that?
The launch is taking place on 16th of March. at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, where I'm the Director of Research. It will be at 1 p.m. And we are happy to say that we do have quite a number of institutions that are supporting the launch. Etuabo Port is one of them. Obviously, they have a major stake in maritime affairs. And we do have Ghana Ports and Harbour Authorities. We have National Revenue Authority. We have National Petroleum Authority, Ghana Commercial Bank, and we also have Chase Petroleum.
There's quite an extensive number of people interested in it, but we will be there to give the required coverage. But I think I may have to also bring you in studio once more too. Then we can look at some of these specifics, from piracy to fishing and all of that, and the other threats that probably lurk around the Gulf of Guinea.
I am most happy to do that. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. We've been speaking with Commander Dr. Kamal Din Ali. He's the Director of Research at the Ghana Armed Forces Staff College, and also has quite an extensive knowledge when it comes to maritime law and security, and was helping us understand how, as a country, we should or can prepare for issues of threat that may be posed from the side of the sea, and then also, by extension, the Gulf of Guinea.